Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hearts of Iron 4, where we are playing as the Netherlands in the Kaiserreich mod. In the previous session, the battle for the Netherlands well and truly took off. There were some pretty huge attacks on our borders, but we managed to hold firm and lost, I think, a grand total of one province. No, two provinces. We lost these two. But otherwise, we held very firm, and it was actually quite impressive. The other big fight that was going on was in the skies. The Battle of the Netherlands was well and truly underway, but we won that one fairly conclusively, having knocked out a whole bunch of their aircraft. I don't know if this is immediately going to... it is. So we lost 1,100 aircraft. They've lost fighters. We lost 1,100 fighters, 659 support. They lost 3,377 fighters, 824 bombers, and 1,699 support. So, as you can see, we definitely came out ahead in the battle for the skies, which is pretty good. The battles for Brussels and Groningen were really impressive. Yeah, they were huge. We've been slowly but surely upgrading our units to the ones with the mechanized. They aren't massively mechanized, there's just a single mechanized infantry in them, but we will be upgrading those over time. And then probably most importantly, some really high level anti-tank. The other thing which I realized is we actually have 380 in the bank at the moment, and all of these guys already have the mechanized, so I think what I'm going to do is just tell them to upgrade right now. 168 AT, and there we are, done. Why am I gaining towed artillery for this? Do these not have artillery? They have artillery. Weird. The other thing I wanted to check is one of the commentators was saying... Sorry, commenters. Was saying that... support companies use support equipment. They don't. Yeah, I didn't think they did. They were saying basically that the support, artillery support, AT, etc. use support equipment as well as the regular equipment, but that's not true. It's just 12 artillery pieces, 24 anti-tank pieces, or 20 anti-air pieces. It's only the actual support companies like recon, field companies, and engineers that use support equipment. So just one correction there, but it did make me think I should probably check that, because they were saying that support companies were significantly more expensive than the divisional equipment, which is not true. Okay, I think otherwise we are good to go. That was a YouTube commenter, by the way. Okay, onwards. Right, the other thing that's happened is the Entente have been horrifically distracted by Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador, basically fighting over here rather than in Europe, which is where the battle really is going. Although I have to say, they've done a great job supporting Portugal when Spain joined the war. So we decided to launch a naval invasion from Venezuela. Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador did eventually fall. Those are now Entente nations. And we launched a naval invasion of the big open bit of Brazil, hoping that our allies would come in and reinforce, rather than trying to push through these horrific choke point positions here in the jungles of the Amazon, which is just a terrible place to be fighting over. But these are just Marines, so I'm very much hoping that we do get some reinforcement. Intermittently, a division will have more equipment than it actually needs because of captures. It will eventually return equipment to the stockpile, but that's why it's telling you it will be returning equipment to the stockpile. Gotcha. Interesting. Anyway, Ken. Okay, dockyards, the other thing that is going on. We are building our Dorota 2 advanced fast battleships, and also the Tromp and Helfrich destroyers and submarines respectively. The battleships are currently in the process of being upgraded. We just increased their armaments. Oh, and also we have a huge surplus of resources because we've been increasing our excavation. So let's wait until the end of the day just to make sure that everything reloads properly and resets. And then at midnight tonight I will double check the trade and see what changes need to be made. We do have an enormous surplus. No, that's not because of the excavation. That is because we are upgrading rather than building. But still, I think that's going to count as me being able to decrease the imports for a short time at least. And also slightly less aluminium. We'll stay at +5, that's fine. Australasia can go, Qing can go. We'll keep buying from the USA because I want the US to actually support us. And we are producing outdated equipment, but that's just going to be the ships. Yeah, we're still building one Doroter, but that's fine. And then we've got all of the Trump destroyers now being built. Excellent. And Sumatra has a naval invasion. Slightly more dangerous this time, but still not deadly. I think we'll be fine. Don't we have submarines out here? We do. I think, however, that those submarines probably need to be a little bit closer to home. Just so they can really be hammering this. In fact, let's have you hitting those as well, so we can hit supplies going into New Guinea. Sod it. No, we are going to do this. Stretching you even thinner. That's what we clearly need. The annual VNH Londach. Huzzah! Hakon Longbeard coming in with an 8-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Thank you. Keep the beer flowing. Or the mead. I shall certainly try. Or the tea. Speaking of flowing tea, I need to pour some. Because I am currently tealess. That is unacceptable. And as my character in the previous stream, which was Star Wars Empire at War, not Award, and my main character would say, tea, Earl Grey, hot. So that's totally a thing that happens in Star Wars. Marvellous. 94th Min, Captain Irritant, Evil Snowball, Based Oatmeal, Poet, how are you all doing today? And everyone else, of course. The annual VNH Londach will start a week in Utrecht. The first one since the 1937 elections. The CI, the Dutch Secret Service, has found out that they will be announcing a major policy change for the coming year, and they themselves seem rather certain that this will result in a boost of support for their movement, reinforced by the fact that the VNH is encouraging non-members to come as well. The CI has sadly not been able to retrieve information about the said policy change. Some are saying that the ideology of the VNH is dangerous, and that it would be best if we stop the Londach from occurring at all, possibly through revoking their permit to hold a rally. Others say this is a gathering protected by the freedom of speech and should just go ahead. I'm going to say it may go ahead. Because the agreement was they would not hold rallies except on Londach. That's their Londachs. They're allowed to. It's the law. Okay, one of my Marines is about to be defeated, so I should probably rotate some of you around. So I'm probably going to be far too late for this. Yeah. Which is too bad, because there's a nice river crossing there, but you stay here and just dig in. One less province that we now need to defend, which is good. Because we are not getting a huge amount of support over here, although we do, I believe, have air superiority. Although I'm just about to double check that. We do. Okay, that's fine. And so long as we're just distracting the Brazilians and giving my allies another way to attack, then I'm fine. The Spanish are really struggling against the Portuguese, and the Germans have launched yet another attack of the Netherlands. But that's fine, we can just do some damage. Ooh, major invasion. Okay, so we'll send 2 of you from Antwerp. We'll send 2 of you from here. The rest of these positions seem okay, with the exception of you. We'll leave you for the time being. See if one of these other positions stops fighting. Bao Dai has announced that the Vietnamese nation can no longer withstand the pressure from the occupying East Asian forces, committing travesties throughout the country. The Vietnamese government has gone into exile. Vietnam. Whose side was Vietnam on? Unfortunately, it's returned to German East Asia, which is a problem. And my cruisers are currently fighting against theirs, although everyone seems to be running away. Canadian Commonwealth has called Iceland into the war. Oh, Iceland is actually a thing that exists now. How lovely. And now we have green bubbles everywhere. And Sumatra's being invaded again. which is fine. They have apparently withdrawn a lot of their troops. So let's see if we can push out just a tad and see what we can do here. Also, some of the expeditionary forces we were granted by Portugal and Australasia are starting to arrive, which is what this guy is. Which is good. And we've got a military factory. Interesting. So what do we want to try to produce? One of the things we can do is reduce the amount of anti-tank that we're producing now. We'll go down to 3 for the time being. I think we've even got enough guns. Yes, we have a gun surplus. So I'm going to radically reduce how much of that we're producing, and I think I'm going to put everything else into mechanized, because I still really want to mechanize my military. The V&H Landdag of 1937. As expected, the V&H Landdag in the Utrechtse Jaarbeurs went ahead today. The first V&H leader, Svart, had a little inspiring cliché speech about how much the movement has grown since he joined, but the truly interesting part came after that. Deputy leader Van Gelkerken announced a radical policy change following the failure to gain power in the election this year. It was a wide range of conservative appeasing policies, ranging from proclaiming the V&H's support for the monarchy to more support for a free enterprise and declaring Protestantism to be the state religion while also curbing Catholic rights. It's almost certain this will result in a significant loss of support for the CNA in favour of the V&H. Populism goes up, autocracy goes up, and social conservatism goes down. I'm glad that's over. Liberals are 17, CNA is at 39, so my party popularity has gone down, which means less political power, but we have 900. So I don't think that's that much of a problem. Alright, I think that's all good. Loads and loads of Canadian troops beginning to arrive. Are they arriving? They're just sailing away. No, I think they're arriving. How are you getting through this? That should not be possible. Navies can pass. No. Oh, it's a submarine. Okay, submarines can pass. Landing in the southeast of Brazil would have been better. Yeah, but that requires more sea zones, which would have been even harder for me to control. Because the German Navy still has naval superiority at the moment. Although we're working on that. Okay, we're getting a couple of their convoys again, which is good to see. And actually, how are the upgrades coming? They are still in progress. September and October they will be finished. Okay. Right, they've changed how the production companies work. And I've lost one of my tank designers. Wait, no, there's no infantry designer anymore. Industrial, motorized, fighters, ships. Oh, they've removed some of the companies, so my mechanized aren't as good as they were. In fact, my mechanized are much reduced. Well, that's something that's definitely changed. Oh, we can get a temp 3. Always false. And there are still no theorists in the game. Oh, okay. They are really starting to push. I think that you two need to go here. 2 of you. No. 2 of you in there. These 2 can go over here. Actually, let's put them in there. That's good. You're the other one that's struggling. But there are 4 divisions with over 1,000 defense each. The main problem is you're up against 30 divisions, but you'll be able to hold for a while at least. How's the air battle? I'm wondering if I want to bring the close air support back from Brazil. I think I do. This is a pretty major offensive currently underway. Where can I actually base you? Here I can. And then I think what I need to do is upgrade the air capacity of the airbase in Holland as a matter of quite a lot of priority. And I think I also want a radar base in Holland. Let's get those built. Quick as you like. How much manpower are the Germans wasting? Quite a lot at this stage. Germany's 4.5 million in the whole, of which 3 million I've killed, and they've done 500,000 damage. 6 to 1 kill death ratio. And that continues to climb. And they are hitting this position really hard. But we are about to defeat the first wave. Comes a second wave. Why is there a counterattack going on here? It's not me. It's France. The one nation that absolutely cannot afford to lose manpower is doing the attack. Because of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Kingdom of Laos has capitulated. I believe that's the second time. Gonna bring in some reserves just in case. Okay, everywhere else seems to have held their line pretty well. That's just convoys against German ships. How are the repairs or the upgrades coming? 28th. I should know it's the 28th. And we do need some more steel now. We can reduce the amount of tungsten we're importing by a nice round 8. Which is in fact all of the tungsten I've been importing. Then Qing are the only ones that can actually afford to send me more steel. Oh no, Australasia and Finland can. It's fine. I'm short 3 and it's the 3 that's not getting through. So in fact what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop buying from South Africa and I'm going to start buying from Cuba. Because I believe that my trade routes from Cuba are going to be a little more open. Aha! Upgraded light guns. That's good. So with that, I think what I'd like to do is upgrade the super heavy gunnery. Although that's not a humongous upgrade. You know what? The other thing we could do is the damage control measures. Reduce the amount of damage that we take during combat. What path is the US going? Judging by the number of troops in the Canadian border, not a good one. They haven't chosen yet. Fingers crossed they choose Enter the Fray, because we could really do with American assistance here. I mean, America is the PSA, which are pro-Entente usually. They can also be pro-co-prosperity sphere. How many kills have you got now? 336,000 equipment for a loss of 44,000. Still mostly infantry equipment. They do have a fair amount of artillery support, anti-tank, light tanks. Well, no, they still have a lot of medium tanks attacking. But they are up against tier 3 anti-tank now, so good luck with that. Engineer upgrade. That's a thing that we definitely needed. I think I'm going to go and do another one. And we should probably go and take a look down here. Let's assist that assault. Sumatra again. Nothing really dangerous. Okay, hopefully you can push them back. Then once we've got that little pocket sorted, I'll be feeling a hell of a lot better about my position here. And there we go. No, damn it! Are you adjacent to them? You are. Let's do this, just to keep them from reinforcing this spot. At least until you arrive. Which is going to take 2 days. 1 month until the battleships are done. Is improving relations with them worth anything? I don't think so, but I have so much political power we can absolutely do it. Queen's Day! Hip hip hurrah! You can stop, and we are now once more in our excellent defensive positions. Marvellous. Let's go ahead and improve relations with you. I think I'm also just going to improve relations with a bunch of these people in general. Because I'm hoping that that's going to mean that they buy more stuff from me. Now, who else is large that we're not at war with? India. Because I believe the higher your relations, although I think we're capped out at the 200 already. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're capped out at 200. Excavation 4. We cannot yet get excavation 5, although it is 43, so let's get the construction going. Or we could actually get more efficient fuel refining. I'm going to go for construction. Not going to veer too badly from how I usually do things. Oh dear, 2 Sicilies are not looking too hot. That invasion of Rome they were never able to counteract. Let's start 1 or 2 of these units rotating out. Although it looks like we are in pretty good hold of all of that area. And we could launch a multi-front attack on this guy. You supporting, you supporting. And on you. You to attack that. With you supporting. What are we up against? 3 units defending. Okay, screw that. Not worth it. If we can hold the rivers, then that's going to be great, which is why I'm aggressively going after this position. Then once we've taken that, we can use these guys to attack this position. And the really nice thing... Oh, man, we could take... Oh, no. Oh, we've taken another airbase. Interesting. And this is a nice river protection as well. It's nice to see that India at least has my back. India's been an absolute bro. India's been great. And all of my allies are retaking their expeditionary forces back. No surprises there. And my units were victorious absolutely everywhere. Excellent. They're attacking here, unfortunately successfully. No, you have your own problems, Greece. You're under invasion. I know, let's give our units to the Dutch. I know I have superior military command, but still. How does Germany have any manpower left after fighting the Internationale? The Internationale didn't do very much against them. Right, let's upgrade the guns again. So it's only the secondary batteries on my battleships that have been upgraded. I could, and probably should, take a look at upgrading my tier 4 destroyers. Because we do have level 4 light guns. Pretty cheap to upgrade as well. For dual purpose. Quite a lot more expensive, though. I'm not going to bother too much about the AA. So what are these again? These are Amsterdams. So these are going to be Amsterdam 2s. Could also bring in radar. We do use them for detection. I'm not going to bother though. These are now mostly frontline ships. So let's have all of you upgrading. 7 days each. That's fine. We have one tier 3 destroyer, but yeah. Ah, we have a Trump here. Excellent. Amsterdam 2s. Amsterdam 2s. Amsterdam 2s. And then we have a couple of Trumps as well. I think we'll need to wait until this fleet is fully reinforced and rebuilt. And then we can start thinking about how to upgrade that further. The Germans are launching yet another assault on our borders. Unsurprisingly. As are the Brazilians.
Great.
You just have available traits but nothing to actually buy. You have nothing. You're fairly close to level 8, at which point we should be able to get something else. Maybe try to get Engineer and Fortress Buster. Or the Capture Chance. Winkelmann. Never 100% sure about how general traits help marshals. I think it's they get half, but I've not had that confirmed. Roy for general traits on Field Marshal. Yes, they carry on to the generals. Corps Commander modifier, any organised trait uses this. There's a specific one. Field Marshal modifier, any use for Field Marshals. Modifier, most modifiers of this can carry on to both. Non-shared modifiers for use for personal traits only. I'd be tempted instead to just build tons of CAS. Entente de Supremacy in Brazil, and 1,000 or so CAS will just shred the Brazilian army. I mean, we could send more over there, to be fair. Yes, we could build more. Our CAS has been pretty dominant thus far. Right, I want this to search for a result in the last year only.